Right, so here's the new seals. We'll take a new seal out. There's a new dust seal. Also in this package there is some grease, some brake seal grease. If you don't have this, you can just use clean brake fluid to lubricate the new seals. So this one's already lubricated up. So what I'm going to do now is just place that in the groove. Carefully. It just pops in quite easily. And then we're going to use some of this lubricant here on the seal, on the piston, sorry, just to smear around the piston to help it go through the seal. Now the seal is important in the operation of the caliper, because it not only seals the fluid out, but it is a self-adjusting device and actually retracts the pistons. The action of it retracts the pistons from the brake pads by a very small amount to stop the pad from dragging. The tendency is, if the seal starts to leak, that self-retraction effect, the action of the seal, will stop working, and it will cause the pads to drag on the disc.
Each caliper half has a piston which has two seals fitted. The outer seal is a dust cover which obviously protects the piston from dirt and dust, and the inner seal is the oil seal that prevents oil escaping past the piston to the outside. As you can see in the diagram, the oil seal grips the piston and can flex to move with it. When the pressure is released, the oil seal retracts the piston slightly, so stopping the pad from dragging on the disc. If enough pad wear takes place during braking, then the piston will slide through the seal, thus providing automatic adjustment for pad wear.
Disc. So that just pushes in like that. So that's now in. And the last thing we can do is just smear the rest of that grease around the face of the piston. That will help reduce the chances of corrosion, further corrosion occurring. And then we can put the there we go. And then we can put the new seal on, new dust seal on. It just slots into a groove in the face of the piston, and also slots into a groove in the caliper. And there we are. And the fitting the seal into the other half of the caliper is just the same. So what we're going to do after that is put the caliper together. Okay, so there's the two halves of the brake caliper, cleaned up, overhauled, new seals installed. We've got to put this O-ring in, so we'll just put a smear of grease on the O-ring, and that sits in there little recess there, and then we can bolt the two caliper halves together. Kit comes with 2 new caliper bolts, so I'll put the new bolts in. Bleed nipples back in. They'll be done up in a minute. Unfortunately, there are no new little rubber covers for the bleed nipples, which is a shame because the existing ones are perished. Anyway, so that's ready to go back on, and on it goes. Start off by just starting the thread on the brake pipe. Up these caliper mountings, and then we'll do up these Allen screws. I'll just nip down the bleed nipples for the moment and then start reassembling. We'll give these pins a bit of a clean up, I think. So I've just given this a wipe over with some rag just to get the worst of the dirt off. One thing to pay attention to is this little circlip here that on Brembo calipers that locates the pin with a tight fit into the caliper, so make sure that they're on there. If they're corroded, then it's probably a good idea just to clean up the surface with a bit of emery cloth. It just helps to ease the pin in. Just to get the worst of it off. Okay, so there's the pads cleaned up. They're still usable. So what we'll do first is slip in the caliper pad, and then this spring blade needs to go on, and then the next pad. Oops. Slip that into position. It's that springy circuit just overcoming there. And then this pin sits on the top, the anti-rattle pin and spring assembly, and then that spring sits in a little groove, and we just push down on that and slip the pin over and into position. And again, just tap that in. Okay, well there we are, all back together. Now we can take the brake pipe clamp off. And we can pump some brake fluid in. Whoops, would help if I did that up first. There you go. Right, now we can pump some brake fluid in.